Good morning! Welcome to wet and windy St Bees. That's behind me. It's the Irish Sea, a bit stormy today. And today, the 26th of August 2020, I'm going to head on my 10-day adventure from here in St Bees, following Alfred Wainwright's Coast to Coast path all the way to the East Coast and Robin Hood's Bay. Last night I stayed just over that brow at the Seacoast Hotel, which is alright. Had a lovely filling Cumbrian breakfast this morning. It will fuel me for my 24-mile stint today. Planning to start here, work my way all the way around the coast, over there, all the way around there, to Ennerdale Bridge, and then round the south end of Ennerdale before branching into an alternative path up to Haystacks, across Haystacks, and then hopefully camping at Inominate Tarn. So that leaves only one thing to do. As per tradition, one must dip their toe into the Irish Sea, and then we have to collect a pebble to take all the way to Robin Hood's Bay. I'm going to try not to get wet. Dipped. And then just grab a pebble. One pebble, not too big. Let's see if I can try not to lose that on this next 10 days. Just made it out of St Bees. It's a sharp little climb just out of the bay, which I did expect. That's a nice warm up for my legs. The legs are not warm yet though. Still a little bit stiff from the 6 hours of train journey yesterday. But most of the route is flat today. We've got a little hummock called Dent to get over, which is around 9 miles in. But the rest should be nice and flat before I have to go up high style. Three miles in, and that behind me is St Bees Lighthouse. Now the lighthouse that previously stood there ran from 1718 to 1822, and it was the last coal-powered lighthouse in Britain. Unfortunately it burnt down and was replaced by this newer model. I say newer model, it was built in 1866 and it was finally automated in 1987. And you can apparently see its lights from 25 miles away. If I turn round, you may not be able to see it, but just there, in the distance, is the Isle of Man. I should be able to get a better view of it when I get onto Dent, but it doesn't seem too far away. Should be able to see the lighthouse from over there. Now this lighthouse also marks my most westerly point on the walk. So, finally, I'm going to be going inwards, the right direction, east. I'm now in the little village of Sanith, about 5 miles in, but I'm still west of St Bees and only 2 miles away from St Bees. Well, I was hoping to keep my feet dry for most of the trip, but I'm pretty much just walking down a river. And there's no way of avoiding it. I've either got wet, dewy grass to one side, or a river down the middle. That's what happens when it rains so much, so I might as well walk right down the middle. My feet are already soaked. They should dry out a little bit during the day. I'll take my shoes off every so often and just wring out my socks. Nice and cool on the old feet though. It's not getting any drier. Wow, what's a boggy section? It's amazing how much water was on that field. Very difficult to walk through, but I've now been walking for a bit on this lovely tarmac track, and this is the remains of the Whitehaven, Cleethorpes and Egremont Railway, and it serviced the coal and iron industry up to the 1970s. And then in the 1990s it was turned into Route 71 of the National Cycle Network. I'm very glad for it. It means it gives my feet time to dry out. I'm just heading up to Moor Row now, and there should be some remains of the old station there as well. Here we are, we made it to the top of Dent Fell. 352 metres, nothing compared to my climb which is coming up later, but you can see the Isle of Man a bit better over there, but it's still really far away. And over there are the mountains of the Lake District. They're a bit covered in cloud at the moment, but hopefully the cloud will lift. So right in the distance, this is Scafell Pike, and we go round, and then we have Pillar, distance there, and then over here, in that cloud over there, that's the High Style range, and Ennerdale is just behind this hill in the middle. I'm officially in the Lake District. That behind me is Nannycatch Bridge, and that's the official gateway into the lakes. So I'm going through the Lake District for the next 3 days now, and my feet are wet again. A lot of the path has just got a lot of this overflow from the mountains, so your feet stay nice and cool. I've got 2 more miles to go till Ennerdale Bridge. It's just gone 1 o'clock, so I'm just going to see if I can hold on for a bit longer, and I'll stop at the cafe in Ennerdale Bridge for some lunch, and I'll take these shoes off and take my bag off, have a little rest, refuel for the long trek up High Style. Back on the road again, just got out of Ennerdale Bridge and I stopped at the cafe there for a bit of lunch, which was really needed. And now we're about 15 miles in. Ahead I've got Ennerdale Water, which is the next stop, and I've got 3 mile trek / scramble around the edge of that. And I'm heading over towards the youth hostel before I head up the hill. And here it is, Ennerdale water. This huge lake supplies the whole of West Cumbria. It's the most westerly lake in the Lake District, and it's up to 45 metres deep. But there used to be a pub on the outskirts of here called the Anglers Hotel. You used to be able to fish out the window. But unfortunately, there were plans about 40 years ago to raise the lake a few feet. So they demolished it prematurely, and then the plans didn't go ahead. So the pub was lost. But it's a lovely bit of history. And then over here, that is Robin Hood's chair. They don't really know why it's called Robin Hood's chair, or whether he sat in it, but the little lump next to it, that one, that's Pillar. And then I move round, and there's High Style, and that's where I'm going next. There it is! That's the end of the lake. What a trek! That was pretty brutal in parts. Most of it is now a river, but I've managed to get away with only damp feet, not soaking wet. But very rocky. But now, I've got to head over there. Up that. It's only partially in the cloud as well at the moment, so it might be a bit chilly, we'll see. Might be a bit chilly. I'm about 19 miles in, coming up to 20 miles, and then I've got to cross the river to the youth hostel. Okay. This is the end of the forest track. Just walked past Ennerdale YHA. I'm about 21 miles in now. And there's my route up that grassy path there. What have I got myself into? Nearly at the top. However, my view is starting to disappear with this cloud rolling up the hill. You get quite a lot of sun down the bottom, so I'm hoping this is all going to blow through when it gets to the top. It's just up there, not too far. It might be a bit later to the campsite I thought I would be. Than I thought it would be. It's about 6:30 now. Might make it by 7:30. More likely 8 o'clock, I think. And here we are. That's a pretty breezy and chilly Red Pike. So about 750 metres now. There's a view down to the valley. Just about see it. Clouds lifted now. It was completely whited out when I got up here. I couldn't see a thing. But you can see now, it's starting to roll off our route. Going across to High Style, it's about 806 metres. Then High Crag, which is just smaller than we are now, 740. And then down to Haystacks, which is just under 600 metres. I hope this wind breaks up though. Otherwise it might be a bit of a breezy camp. Hopefully there'll be some shelter. There it is. That is High Style. I spent the last 30 minutes trying to find it. It's so disorientating up here. You can only see about 50 metres max in front of you. The cloud is so low. Luckily I've got my GPS on me, but I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't, because it's so easy to get lost up here. But this is now the highest peak on my walk so far. I have gone slightly higher. Crossfell was a bit higher on the Pennine Way. I think it was around 800 and something, just a little bit higher than this one. I've now got to go back into the void and try and find High Crag. Three down, one to go, and it's spitting. It's about 7:30 now. We really underestimated how long it would take to do this, but I can still sort of see. I've just got to go down there now and find Haystacks.